Hello, everyone. Um, so just to go over, well, to go over the movie Rain Man. Um, the fact that he is mentioned as being mildly autistic, well, being high functioning autistic, as an idiot savant is in today's world he would have been institutionalized just as he was in the movie, institutionalized. Um, it really tells you a little bit just about what how far in between the spectrum can be. Um, Someone who cares about routine, daily routine, and how dependent they are on that routine can be a big factor regarding being on the spectrum. But in Rain Man's case, in Rain Man's case, um, he would have been considered extremely high on the spectrum. It's not high functioning. He was not high functioning. Like in the movie Hollywood's adaptation for to create awareness for autism, but he was not high functioning. Yeah, he was able to play his brother on, to play cards in Vegas and count cards because of how good he was at counting to begin with, to count a quantity of items. So in this case, counting cards was a great idea for someone who was mildly autistic, which was the same joke that was made in The Hangover, the first Hangover movie, with what's his name, something Farkas. But yeah, in the first Hangover movie, it was the same joke when they're going down the elevator and they're both wearing like really good matching clothes. Same exact principle. Like so what? All mildly autistic people considered mildly autistic are really good at counting cards to play quote poker. Not necessarily true, but yeah. I mean, I'm just saying The Hangover made a joke out of that scene in the Rain Man movie when they both go down the elevator wearing good clothes and they end up going off with $75,000. They win $75,000. By counting by well his autistic Rain Man counts cards, so his other brother who wants to bail out for his four cars, $75,000 to bail out his four cars, his Ferrari and the other bullshit cars. In today's world, he would have been institutionalized. He would have been institutionalized. I'm just saying. I'm just making a point. In today's world, he would have been institutionalized. He would not be living on his own. He's not high functioning. In today's world, Rayman would be considered very not so high functioning. High functioning autism, you have a job and you have a good job, a good paying job. You make good money. You just don't care for other people. You don't care for other people. HT, you're probably right. He'd be on the streets probably. You aren't wrong. So that's a Hollywood. Yeah, that's why it's a Hollywood movie. He'd probably be on the streets. So it's why the movie Rain Man, it makes the movie Rain Man, it's a misrepresentation to a certain extent of the autism spectrum because it's either you end up in two places in that place. Well, in three places. You get taken care of for the rest of your life by your parents, you end up in an institution, or you end up on the streets. And HE, so that's a good point you made. Um, I like the movie. I do like the movie Rain Man. I I had not seen it for a long time, but I did see it a couple of weeks ago, and I think it would be a good movie to talk about. Um, just there are people who are on the spectrum, who are idiot savants in this case, who are, I guess, before the term autism, there was idiot. It was called being an idiot savantism. So, in this case, you had special. Well, you had a heightened ability for certain. You had certain heightened abilities, but at the same time, you had certain disabilities in certain social aspects. But you had certain abilities, way above average, way above average. So you could be like Rain Man, who could count 500 cigarettes just by looking at the single pack when they're thrown on the floor, those individual cigarettes, and you instantly know, how many cigarettes are on the floor, 500, 550, etc. So, and I mean, the movie does a good job of, I guess, giving light to autism, to people who are on the autism spectrum, but at the same time, there are still people there are people who don't believe that autism is a real thing. There are people who believe that autism is bullshit. They believe that autism is literally bullshit. It's not a real thing. My dad literally told me that my I had a conversation with my dad a few weeks ago, and he told me that I think it's all bullshit. I think you just need to man up. That's what he told me. And I sent him a text. He called me yesterday. Well, he called me a couple days ago, saying that you need to get your shit together. And I all I said to him was, I don't know what you want me to say to you. What do you want me to do? I make good money. I'm doing well. Like I'm not doing bad. I'm doing pretty decent. And but he wants to say that you're not doing well because and you're overweight and you drink a lot. So in his mind, just because of that, my dad said that to me. He thinks I'm a piece of shit just because of that. So I texted him today and I told him not to text me again if all you're gonna ask me about is my fucking weight or how much I drink. Because there are two kinds of men. There are two kinds of men in this world. Those who want to be a part of it, which is not me, and then there are those who do not want to be a part of this world. I don't care for the election. I don't care for like simple bullshit. What's up, Slicer? He didn't say that. He never said that. He just wanted to be a dick. HG. There are two kinds of men in this world, and this is a quote. I remember I read the book. If any of you have ever read the book No Country for Old Men, there was a movie. There was, if you guys ever remember the book, which a movie was made off of it called No Country for Old Men with Anton Chigurh, like the crazy dude, the crazy dude with the Tech Nine and the suppressed shotgun, who's about that dude Anton Chigurh. Anton Chigurh from the movie and the book No Country for Old Men. There are Tommy Lee Jones, who plays as the sheriff, and the preface of the book. During the book, one of the quotes is, "There are two kinds of men: those who want to be a part of it, who want to be a part of the world, and those, the second kind, who do not want to be a part of the world." So you have to make a choice. You have to make a choice. Do you want to be a part of the world? Give up your pride. You might have to give up your pride and your dignity just to become a part of the world. In that case, I don't want to. And I told him that. I texted him that. I don't want to be a part of the world. I don't like people, especially living in Washington State. I don't want to be a part of this. I've met a lot of people who seem to be like weeaboos, fucking weeaboos, from the term I'm using by fucking goddamn filthy Frank from 10 years ago. Term weeaboo. Basically, a step below being a lolly. Someone who likes to watch animated child porn. But yeah, I saw comparisons, I see comparisons all the time. Everything's fine, man. Just comparisons. I'm not packing up to be homeless, dude. What the fuck? I'm not packing up to be homeless, dude. What the fuck? No, I'm not packing up to be homeless, dude. What the hell? My God, what the hell? E-begging. What the fuck are you talking about? But you packing up to be homeless, dude. What the fuck? No, dude. I'm just talking about honest conversation. If as I said, are you sure about that? Where Tommy Lee Jones, the sheriff, Tommy Lee Jones, Slicer, Tommy Lee Jones plays as the sheriff, and he says at one point a man has to make the decision between he either becomes a part of the world or he does not become a part of the world. Are you sure about that? I remember the part of the book where he says that, where he says, yeah, well, Tommy Lee Jones plays as the sheriff. No, no. So Tommy Lee Jones plays as the sheriff in the book, and he says a man has to either choose it. A man has to choose to either be a part of the world or not a part of the world. He has the two choices. Well, yeah, I read the book, I saw the movie, and to say something about the movie, can I say something about the movie? Because I saw the movie too. There's one thing about the movie which is very unique. If any of you caught it, there was no soundtrack. There was no music, and no, there was no music from start to end. There is no soundtrack for No Country for Old Men. There's no soundtrack. What's my choice? My choice is I don't want to be a part of the world. I don't want to be a part of the world. Like I don't care for simple shit like this past week. I didn't vote this week. I didn't vote this week, but I want Trump to be president. It increases my wages. There's no score. No, there's no. There is no soundtrack. There is no score. There is no background score. There is no music in the background of the movie. There's no music in the movie. What soundtrack? There is no soundtrack, but there is no background score to the movie. There is no background score to the movie. That's what makes the movie so unique. I'm antisocial. You're right. I am antisocial. I don't care. I don't want to get to know people with what there is out there. There is no score. Yes, there is no background score. There is sound effects. Okay, there are sound effects, but there is no background score. If you want if you want to differentiate, differ, differentiate between the background score and sound effects, in that case, yes, there are sound effects, but there is no background score. There is no background score for the entire movie. So yeah, there's no music. Well, there's no okay. There is no but there could be music played in the movie like as a scene, but then the background score played behind the scene. There is no background score. There is no background score. There's music like if you have a scene where music like someone puts on like a tape like a what is it a vinyl record then and the music is being played in the scene, that's not the same as a background score. A background score is music that's being played behind the scene without any prevalence of the scene showing that source of music. A vinyl record, like as an example. It's just an example of white noise. White noise. It's no, but well, the movie basically, if you do pay attention to the fact that there is no music at any background score, the background score, then basically the entire movie is white noise because there is no soundtrack, there is no background score soundtrack. The background score soundtrack, there is no background score. I'm just sound effects. Yes, there are plenty of sound effects like gunshots in the movie. Yes, we know. But I'm just saying. I'm just saying. It's getting cold up here, dude. Dude, it's like 5 o'clock. It gets to be like 5 o'clock here, dude. It's already pitch black here, dude. It's pitch black at 5 o'clock. That's the thing about living in Washington State. When you live in this part of Washington State and the Pacific West, dude, it gets like 5 o'clock. It's cold as shit, dude. Cold as shit. It's we're getting down there, dude. Low 40s, dude. Fucking low 40s, high 30s, dude. At night, dude. Low 40s, high 30s. And it's not even Thanksgiving yet, dude. It's not even Thanksgiving yet. Hibernation time, dude. Yeah, dude. Right now it's 4 p.m. Yeah, it's 4 p.m. here, dude. Fucking 4 p.m. here, dude. It's getting cold out, dude. And guess what? You do you want to know what happens? Do you want to know what happens during the wintertime in Washington State in this part of the Washington State? Do you want to know what happens? Fucking DUIs, dude. There's some connection between the wintertime, the use of alcohol, and DUIs in Washington State. Like I don't know what happens about human beings who live like human beings human beings who live in a place where it gets dark during the wintertime really quick. and then you have um, the option to use alcohol. The use of alcohol and being dark really quick, really fast, short days, they kind of coincided with each other. I don't want to imagine Alaska. I imagine Alaska is worse. I worked with one dude from Alaska, and he told me that meth, dude, the use of meth during the winter time was rampant. He told me that, yeah, using meth during like just regular people would use meth. People would use meth in the wind. Who people who worked on fishing boats in Alaska, like just fishing boats, be like, okay, got off work. I'm gonna do a little bit of meth and come wake up at the next morning and go back to work, and it's dark as shit. It's yeah, so it's worse. I can't imagine Alaska, Josh. I can't imagine Alaska, Josh, because I said I worked with one dude there, dude, who was from there. I want to be like him. It's already bad enough here, dude. It's the winter. It gets to you. It's the cold. The cold, the short days. It gets to you. It does. I don't know what it does. Like I don't know what it does, but I don't understand how having shorter days and longer nights okay, seasonal depression. Okay, so some people claim that, the seasons affect people emotionally, that, during the winter times people are more likely to use alcohol and become depressed, and during the summertime people are more like extroverted. People are more willing to get out there during the summertime because of the seasons. I know. So I know, Slice. I agree with you. I like the cold too. I like the cold, and I like the cold. Me personally, I like the cold, and I like the shorter days. But at the same time, I don't think it's good for me. Like I think I like something that is not good for me. And now we're coming to that once again, because once the wintertime hits here, it hits hard. It hits hard, and it stays there probably until about March, early April. It doesn't go away until early April. It hits hard. It gets cold here, dude. It gets cold here. It's dry. It's dry cold, dude. It's dry cold. It does snow a little bit. It does snow a little bit, but it's mostly just dry cold. It is dry cold. It's cold, cold, but it's dry cold basically. Yes, it does not include. We do get a little bit of snow at some point, but realistically, it's just dry cold. But it's cold, like mid 20s, low 20s. Like mid 20s, low 20s, dude. It does get cold here. It does get cold. Just okay, okay. If you live in Colorado, I will admit that. Okay, if you live in certain parts of Colorado in the Rocky Mountains, for example, then okay, then you've got me beat. It gets colder there, but I will admit that. Okay, but it still does get. It's it still does get cold here in Washington State. And if you live in the Tacoma, Seattle area, it does get cold. It does get cold. I remember last a couple years ago when I had to go to the ER because I had a concussion. I fell. I tripped. I had a concussion, and fucking some lady, um, a fucking homeless lady walked in, and she had swelling in her legs because of the cold. It wasn't what's it called? It wasn't bad. It wasn't that bad to the point of what is it called? When you get like you're like exposed to cold temperatures and you have swelling in your legs, but it's not. What's the name for it? It's not necrosis. So it's not necrosis, but it's still no. So it's not frostbite. Okay, so it's okay. So yes, it's the mild stage of frostbite. It's swelling. It causes swelling in the legs. So if you have been homeless people who show up to hospitals, and this happened to me a couple of years ago when I had a concussion, and some homeless lady shows up who has been known to go there to that hospital, and she had swelling, like really bad swelling in her legs. It looked like edema. So it looked like edema, but it wasn't caused. It was edema that was caused by the cold temperatures. So it basically, in this case, from what I understand, swelling in the legs, unlike swelling in the hands with frostbite, edema, however, in the legs is a precursor to frostbite in the legs. So my understanding is frostbite in the hands, it just leads to frostbite. But frostbite in the legs, it starts out as edema. It starts out as swelling of fluid in the legs. So edema is the precursor to frostbite in the legs, from my understanding is. So yeah, this homeless lady showed up with swelling in her legs, and they basically told her we can't really do much for you except let you stay here for a little bit because you don't have any medical insurance. You don't have any kind of medical insurance, so we'll let you. I mean, we'll let the edema go down, but after that, we have to let you go. It's yeah. So edema in the legs is a precursor to frostbite in the legs. It does get cold here. It does. Edema, edema as a precursor to frostbite in the legs. The hands work differently. It gets cold here. Yes, it does. It gets cold here. Like I understand it gets cold in the Rocky Mountains, of course. If you live in certain parts of Chicago, in Colorado, like in South Park, South Park and whatever. I'm making a joke by that by saying South Park, but I understand it gets cold there, but it does still get cold here in the Seattle Tacoma area. It does get cold. Yeah, yeah, exactly. I agree with you. I agree with you. So going back to just going back to the Rain Man movie, the Hollywood adaptation of autism wasn't completely accurate. realistically. It wasn't a realistic adaptation of autism. Because if someone who was that autistic would either be homeless or be institutionalized, which in this case he was institutionalized. Um, if I had LBG here, who I wish I wish I had LBG here, he might be able to back me up on the fact that if you are very barely on the spectrum, you have a microdose of autism, a microdose. You're barely on the spectrum. You can function just as well as anyone else. You might even do better than most people. You might even do better than most people. So that's the thing. It's Hollywood didn't exactly do a great job of portraying the idea of autism. The perception, the perception of autism in the 80s, the 90s, even the 70s. A lot of people even still don't believe it was ever true. It's not a real thing. It's a myth. So people like me who are barely on the spectrum, who are like barely, just barely on the spectrum, like almost like a micro. If it was like a microdose, I would have a microdose. So I'm barely on there, but at the same time, I really can't relate to anyone at like my work. I think most people at my work are retarded. I think they're all fucking stupid. I think who are extroverts, people who are extroverted, who go out their way, who are to be extremely social, are fucking retarded. People who are extremely extroverted are fucking retarded. They're stupid. I should slap the shit out of them. And I think that every day at my work. I have who are people who are fucking extroverted are fucking stupid. And I think it's fucking stupid. Like I can't relate to any of my coworkers. I think they're all just fucking stupid. They're all dumb. People who reproduce, who want to have fucking an intimate partner instead of just having prostitutes. Why? If you want to fuck, then fuck. Don't go through the effort of having a relationship. Just fucking hire an escort service, dude. Why would you go through the effort of forming a relationship just for the purpose of love? Love. Imagine trying to pursue love instead of just fucking with money. It's just ridiculous, dude. It's ridiculous. Everyone's just retarded. So, like, why do people care about nostalgia? You're right. I've never been in love. I don't know what love is. I can't interpret love. I can't interpret love. I don't know what I can't interpret emotional emotion while sober. I'm not gay actually. I'm not gay. I'm about 80% straight, 20% gay. Being in love requires responsibility. Who would want responsibility for the purpose to have a relationship? It requires responsibility. So then why would people go out of their way to form a relationship if it requires responsibility? then tell me it. Why do people go out of their way to find why do people go out of their way to find love when it requires responsibility? Yes, being in love and in a relationship, that is what love leads to. So if you want to be in love and but something to lead from there, it requires responsibility. So if someone wants to be selfish and care about themselves, then they end up like me. But I don't want there's too many people on the planet. There's too many people. Every single human being thinks they are special when they have a child. Like I understand that every single person thinks that something that they create is so special because they created it. But every single person thinks that way. But at the same time, people are hypocrites when they say that there are too many fucking people on the planet. But at the same time, they're fucking someone to have a fucking baby. So what? Are we gonna be hypocrites of ourselves and have keep on fucking with no prophylactics? Keep on fucking, but keep on producing children at the same time. Say there are too many people on the planet. How can people fuck someone, keep on fucking with no prophylactics, and then say once they have a baby, they also say there's too many people on the planet. How can you do that? There's too many people. It doesn't make any sense. It makes no sense. I get the fucking is hardwired into us, but it's why you use a prophylactic, or you have abortion pills. You have abortions. You have the option to go to an abortion clinic. You have birth control pills. You have many options. Like there are 8 billion people on this planet. 8 billion. There's 8 billion people on this planet. There are enough people. There are enough people. We do not need any more people. We cannot, dude. There's way too many people on this planet, dude. There are way too many people on this planet. Way too many people. There's way too many people. My God, my God, no, dude. What the hell are you talking about? There's way too many people on this planet. Fucking 8 billion people. I I don't want that responsibility. I do not want that responsibility. I do not want a wife and kids because it requires responsibility. I don't. I'm afraid of responsibility. I'm afraid of responsibility. I don't care, dude. I don't care. I hate seeing me unhappy. I'm not gonna become the Kato avocado. I'm not doing mukbang streams. I'm not gonna become the Kato avocado. I don't even eat that much, dude. I don't. I do not eat that much. I do not eat that much. Maybe I do. Maybe I do. Maybe I do. Maybe I do care. I like food. I don't eat like a whole lot. I don't eat a whole lot. I don't want to do any of that. I don't. All right. I think we talked about everything that we have to talk about. I'm just really tired today, dude. It's like I took a nap earlier today. I had to delay the stream and shit. I'm just tired, dude. I'm just tired today. I had to talk to my dad just today about, don't fucking call me about stupid bullshit I don't give a fuck about. And, you know, if you want to call me, then call me about shit I care about, like how you doing financially. Fucking dude. Don't call me about shit I don't give a fuck about. Everyone just wants to be retarded. Everyone just wants to be retarded. Mm, yeah, I don't know, dude. I'm just kind of done today. Like, the movie Rain Man was just what it was, dude. It's like, this wasn't a good adaptation of what autism is. It's eternal sadness and just retardation. If you're as low on the spectrum as I am, it's just eternal sadness and people being retarded, and so you don't give a fuck at all. Talk to you soon, dude. Talk to you soon. Talk to everyone soon. Bye. I don't even care, dude. Yeah, you're funny, dude. You're funny.